Hey, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Welcome to another daily devotion. Good to have you with us today. My name is Dave, and we do these pretty much every week. We're in season 20, if you can believe that, which means that we have over 200 of these devotions. And the great thing about them is you can always go back and watch them again because they keep speaking. I actually just tripped over a few of these. I was looking into a study on grace and went back to season 12 and to season 1 and found two of the devotions that I had already done on the topic of grace, and it was awesome to watch, just to watch them again and hear the message again. So go back, revisit some of the older ones. It's a good thing to do. So today, I'm going to continue. I've been really enjoying this thought and this idea of flipping through some of the daily doses of worship that we have in our member area over at joindavesband.com and taking those and kind of turning them into these visual devotions. So today's going to be no different. We're going to jump into Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 and 2. And if you're not a member, head over to joindavesband.com and get involved there today. There's a lot of good stuff going on inside our membership, so you will love it. So join us. Okay, so let me read this devotion, read Ephesians chapter 4, verses 1 and 2, and then we can get into it and kind of chat a little bit about what this is. Now, I titled this Gentleness, so let's kind of roll through it and see what this sounds like. So, grace and peace to you today. Let's talk a little bit about calling and what we have been called to do. Check out this great verse in Ephesians chapter 4. So it says this: I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you've been called, with all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. So, because that word bearing is in there, I know that we've spoken about this verse before, or we've spoken about this idea before. So let me read through this and we'll see what else kind of gets unearthed as we roll through this. I love the book of Ephesians. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I just love the book of Ephesians. So, and I am not alone. I know a lot of people share that sentiment for sure. So Ephesians 4, 1 and 2. Amazing words from the Apostle Paul. Humility, gentleness, patience, love. These are incredible, thought-provoking, and beautiful, beautiful words. If only we could walk with these words wrapped around our every movement. How are these words stored in one's heart? How are these words stored in your heart? I fail at them often. I strive for them, but I fail. I long for them to rule the day, but I fail too many times. The days that I do succeed, these are the moments I try to emulate and duplicate in my daily walk, right? When we see wins, we try to make those wins happen again. So what do? I get back up and strive for them again. I ask God daily, sometimes many times per day, to wrap me in these words, the meaning of these words and the outcome of these words. When we are called to do something with humility, gentleness, patience, and love, that's what surrounds our actions. How much can be accomplished when we're called to do things with those traits, right? That changes the way that we approach a situation. If we approach a situation, with vengeance and with anger, that's going to be a very different outcome than approaching a situation that is cloaked with humility, gentleness, patience, and love. These are the things that are supposed to surround our actions. Okay, so prayers for us all as we strive for humility, gentleness, patience, and love each day. So let's dig a little bit into these couple of verses. Paul spent 3 chapters spelling out in glorious detail all that God did for us. That's Ephesians 1 through 3. Freely by his grace is how he did all this stuff. And we've been talking about grace a lot lately inside of our membership area, and we're about to talk about it more. We've got a 7-day study coming up on Facebook and YouTube, so Stay tuned for that. That's going to be happening in the next couple of weeks. But grace is this undeserved, unmerited favor from the Father that he freely gives us. So Paul has spent these first 3 chapters of Ephesians really just kind of spelling this out in incredible detail for us, what God did for us freely by his grace. Now he brings a call to live rightly, but only after explaining what God did for us. So you can't get into chapter 4 without using 1, 2, and 3 to kind of set it up. So I encourage you, if you want, this week, there are 7 days in the week, 6 chapters in the book of Ephesians. Read a chapter a day. Just start getting into it and see how it rolls for you. When we really understand how much God did for us, we will naturally want to serve and obey him out of gratitude. This is a very, very important point. Okay, a couple of quotes. Understanding who we are is the foundation of this worthy walk. Luther counsels men to answer all temptations of Satan with this only: Christianus sum. I am a Christian, right? So basically what Trapp is saying is that Luther, his response when you really get into the temptations and everything that's going on in the world, it's basically just, I am a Christian. That's the response to all of it. The idea is clear. We don't walk worthy so that God will love us, but because he does love us. It is motivated out of gratitude, not out of a desire to earn merit. Let me read that again. Okay, this is really important. We don't walk worthy. We don't do things that are good so that God will love us, but because he already loves us, right? That is the motivation for us to clean up our act, as my grandmother used to say. It's motivated out of gratitude, thankfulness to the Father that he loves us this much, that he pours his grace out onto us every single day. Our immediate response should be, right, Father, you have done this for me, this for me, this for me. There's all of this love that just comes flowing into my life every single day. Let me respond to that love with gratitude, right? It's really kind of a cool thing. Not out of our desire to earn merit. It's not like we're trying to step up a few notches in God's vision of us, but it's more gratitude. Just being in this state of gratitude all the time. Trapp also says this: every believer is God's firstborn, and so higher than the kings of the earth. That's Psalm 89:27. Let me see if I can reference that real quick. Also, I will make him my firstborn, the highest of the kings of the earth. He must therefore carry himself accordingly and not stain his high blood. If we have this kingship, right, we got to walk with it. We got to walk with it. A worthy walk before God will be marked by lowliness and gentleness, not a pushy desire to defend our own rights and advance our own agenda. Very, very good point, right? A worthy walk with God will be marked by lowliness and gentleness, not a desire to be pushy and to defend our own rights, our own agenda, our own thoughts, our own ideas. More about learning the ideas of the Father and then pushing those out into the world. We need this so that the inevitable wrongs that occur between people in God's family will not work against God's purpose of bringing all things together in Jesus, illustrated through his current work in the church. Okay, so talking about long-suffering, talking about bearing with one another. We've talked about bearing, the word bearing before, but let me just look this up again, okay? Couple of different, bear is an interesting word, right? It's an animal that lives in the forest. Yes, got that. But when you bear the weight of something for someone else, you support them, right? But also when you bear with someone, you're actually enduring them, enduring the difficulty of being around that person sometimes. It's an interesting word and something that, just think about it a little bit. God is asking us to serve others and to sometimes bear the weight for them. help them bear the weight of their circumstances or the situations. Or we're in a situation where we bear with one another, meaning, hey, I may not like you all that much, but we're going to put up with you. Because you know what? This is called brotherly Christian love. This is what it is. Bringing all things together in Jesus. And that is truly the point of all of this, right? Long-suffering as the Spirit that has the power to take revenge, but never does. It is characteristic of a forgiving and generous heart. And that's where I'm going to stop with this commentary. But that idea of a forgiving and generous heart, that's something to really examine, take a look at. What does that look like in your life? A forgiving and generous heart. And we learn that forgiveness and we learn that generosity from who? From Jesus, right? We, in our membership area, we just walked through the book of Matthew. It took us about 3 years. And there was a whole lot of generosity and a whole lot of forgiveness inside that book. And so I encourage you, if you're not a member, become a member, but also go check out Matthew. Just go read through Matthew. And now we're walking through the book of John as well. Another fantastic study. Okay, so that's where I'm going to stop. I like to make these quick, short. We can just kind of absorb a few words and then we can kind of move on with our day. But today, maybe take a minute. This week, actually, maybe take a minute and read through the book of Ephesians, 1 chapter a day. I'm actually going to do it myself. Today is Monday. I'm recording this, so I'm going to start today, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So I'll be done by Sunday, and then maybe read chapter 1 again the next day. But you guys are starting on Saturday, so read 1 through 6, Saturday through Friday, and then read chapter 1 again on Saturday. It's such a great book. It's such a, man, it's just there's so much meat to it. I just love it. Let me read this verse again, these 2 verses. I, therefore, a prisoner for the Lord, urge you to walk in a manner worthy of the calling to which you have been called. Right? Walk in a manner worthy of the calling which you've been called. With all humility and gentleness, with patience, bearing with one another in love. We've been called to be followers of Jesus. And we need to walk that way. Amen. It's good stuff. Okay, so thanks for being here. Thanks for tuning in. Again, every Saturday morning, 9 a.m., we have these. And then I turn them into podcasts that are released on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. So make sure you check out the podcasts as well. They're not the same. It's not the same audio each week. So the podcasts are probably a little bit behind us, which is kind of cool because then you get to hear some of the old ones. I listened to one the other day and we were talking through, I was doing a 5 or 6 part series on exhaling, on rest. It was really cool to go back and listen to this stuff and hear some of these teachings. So be sure to go back, check out the podcast, take 10 or 15 minutes in your day while you're taking a walk or while you're driving. Check out the podcast as well. All right, and if you want to become a member, please do head over to joindavesband.com. Joindavesband.com is where to go. We have over 2,000 written Bible studies in there, probably over 200 video devotions. We've got worship videos in there. All of my albums you can download, all part of your membership. And then we have a community in there, people praying with and for each other. It's absolutely amazing. So I really encourage you to join us, okay? Even if you join at the online-only membership, it just gives you all this access to all the online stuff, which is great. Okay? And then there are higher levels if you want to join there too. You can get some CDs sent to you, or we send out coffee every month to folks in certain memberships. So there's a lot of good stuff going on. So check it out. Head over to joindavesband.com. Thanks for being here today. And I encourage you, walk in a manner worthy of which you have been called, in which I have been called. Go check out Ephesians. It's a really, really good place to walk through. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you on the next one. Take care.